Hey guys, it's Angel from AngelSkyeTV. Today's your weekly medicine tarot reading for the week of January 14th. This week we're entering into a new moon in Capricorn. Capricorn is a great energy to get behind any new projects you want to start on that new moon, any new approach, any new ideas, anything related to something new, new behaviors, new rituals, new ceremonies, whatever you can think of to do on Tuesday, January 16th, definitely do that. And Capricorn, behind that energy, will just really make it succeed. We have, I believe there's 6 planets now in Capricorn, which is crazy. So it's a really great time to honestly start and execute anything you've been putting on hold for the last little while. Saturn was in Sagittarius for a really long time, 2.5 years, 3 years, and now this energy to manifest is here. So it's fantastic. And what else is happening? The lunar eclipse will be happening on January 31st. I'll talk more about that. It's in Leo. So lots of illumination happening. It's the second full moon of the month, the blue moon. So it's going to be intense, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to affect everyone very differently. For those of you that are Taurus and Scorpio, you know, you might find it really challenging, this blue moon, just because Leo squares your sun. Aquarius might benefit immensely from some kind of an epiphany or an awakening during that full moon, as well as Leo is going to also find that it's quite beneficial. You will notice a lot of irritable people around that time, so just be aware. And again, we'll talk more about that full moon in Leo, lunar eclipse, blue moon. But it's preparing all these things, as painful as some of the astrological transits can be. This all helps us to grow. So try to keep that in mind during the next little while. Any kind of uncomfortable feelings are not always bad. They can and do prompt us to move in new directions. And the planets are not the enemy. Even Uranus, which will at some point move into Taurus this year, which will definitely shake things up for everyone on Earth. And just, you know, that sometimes has to happen for change to occur. So, you know, we always have to keep in mind that the planets are not our enemies, and we can use the energy to help us. So right now we'll call in the guides. We'll ask them to surround this reading in all directions of time and space, and we'll just ask for clear guidance for the week of January 14th, this new moon week. And the whining you hear in the background is my puppy, so please, I apologize. She just wants to be in the video, but I had to put her in her crate because she's eating too much of my things. So, plus she knocked over the computer. Anyways, we will call in the guides, get our clear guidance for the week ahead. And if you're at home, you can just close your eyes. Take some nice deep breaths into your belly. I notice a lot of people suffering from anxiety these days, just not breathing deep enough. So remember to breathe deeper, and you will find that that does help. It doesn't like completely solve anxiety, but if you really commit to taking deeper breaths, you will find that does help immensely when you're feeling anxious. All right, so week of January 14th, week of January 14th, week of January 14th. All right. All right. So this week, beginning of the week, I do see some of you reviewing your past, really looking at your entire kind of like where you've come from. A lot of you are really kind of mulling over childhood stuff, trying to understand your whole life, your purpose. So there's really some deep philosophical thought happening at the beginning of the week. You know, and And that's really good. The one thing the guides are saying for you to do right now is try to release yourself from any judgments that you have about yourself, any judgments that you have about other people in your life, what they're doing, how they're behaving, how they're treating you. You know, a lot of times we can be in relationships, long-term relationships, and sometimes, you know, we start treating each other badly. The guides are saying, you know, don't necessarily 100% blame yourself for those situations or the other person. And that goes for family as well. You know, we just get into these routines and we forget and lose respect for one another. It becomes kind of like you just take them for granted. You know, you see them every day, whatever. You've seen them every day for 10, 15 years. So you just kind of forget to show a person the respect they deserve that you would show a complete stranger, which is kind of sad, really, why we do this. And I think it's something that is a social norm, and we kind of just fall into these patterns. You feel comfortable with someone, and then you just kind of like, you forget the formalities, which is, you know, nice, obviously, to not have to be formal with people you're really close to. But at the same time, the guides are saying, you know, you don't really want to just, you know, throw it all out, because when someone shows you respect or they're formal with you, it's actually kind of a nice thing rather than just kind of being discarded or dismissed. Because, you know, the guides are just showing me the phone thing, and I am so guilty of this. So, you know, I'm not preaching at you at all. I'm just sending the message, and don't kill the messenger. But a lot of us, what we do is, you know, we'll put our phones down for certain people, but like people closest to us will be sitting on our phone like for 2-3 hours, sitting right beside them. No conversation with them at all. That's kind of sad in a way. Like, you miss those opportunities to connect to people because you feel like, oh, well, it's just them. You know, I'm going to go on my phone. Like, I see them every night. But, you know, you don't know if that's the last night you're going to be with the person. Do you really want the last night you're going to be with the person, like, to be 3 hours on your phone texting 5 other people? And I'm not saying, you know, like, you can't go on your phone ever. I just think there's a time and a place, and to learn when and where to do that so that we're not so addicted to that. That being said, they are saying, you know, don't be too harsh. It is just like a social thing people are doing now, the whole phone thing. But, you know, reflect on, like, is that what you want your children to be around and think is normal? And then, yeah, so they're just like, question yourself, but don't get to a point where you're beating yourself up. Or other people where you're like, you know, that asshole, whatever. Like, try to really understand why people are the way they are. But that doesn't mean let them completely off the hook if they're doing things they know are completely wrong, like treating you badly. I do see this theme continuing midweek. You know, a lot of reminiscing about the past. And, you know, you might be remembering things in a way that's more favorable than what actually happened. Or, you know, you might be thinking of things in a way that's worse than it actually was. So realize that memories can and do often get distorted. So there are some of you that will have some romances from the past return this month. That's definitely going to come up in the next couple of weeks, so just FYI. You might even be dreaming about people you used to be in relationships with and maybe wondering, like, why am I dreaming about this person I haven't dated in like 15 years or 20 years or something like that. So a lot of that's coming up because there might be some leftover relationship karma, and it doesn't necessarily mean you have to reach out to that person, go have a coffee and talk about it, but it can mean like, why, you know, take it a little bit further. If you are dreaming about them repeatedly or thinking about them, again, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to like reach out and call them, but just try to identify for yourself why you are thinking about them. What is left over? What didn't get resolved in the relationship. End of the week, I am seeing, you maintaining a balance, or struggling to maintain, I should say, a balance between home and work life. The guides are saying there are people that want to help you, and they're wonderful people, so trust that. Don't, if somebody's offering their help, then take it. You don't always have to be the super mom, the superhero, the super dad that does everything. Ask for help. That's important for you to go the long haul. You can't just carry everything on your own shoulders. So they're saying some of you that are watching need to get your kids more involved in household chores and in some of the daily grind things that just pile up and start to feel cumbersome, especially in the wintertime. It seems like it's, because we're inside so much, it becomes more of a chore, where in the summer you can kind of just leave it and it doesn't matter as much. But they are saying, do reach out for help, and also to believe in yourself more. Some of you are struggling with that right now, with your self-esteem, with your self-confidence. Again, this goes back to the beginning card where it's saying to release harsh judgments about yourself and other people. So sometimes we don't recognize that we're even judging ourselves. So if we, for example, are in a relationship that we're not happy with, the real reason you're angry about that isn't so much that the person is mistreating you or didn't, turn out how you had hoped. It's mostly because you chose that person and you're still choosing to stay in that relationship, or if you chose to leave, or if they chose to leave, just the fact that you were in that relationship, you might feel bad about yourself and not even realize you do, because you question why you were even in the relationship in the first place. Like, what made you stay or even choose that person? If those are the types of questions that are racing through your mind, just know, it's already happened. You can't change it. Everybody has people they've dated. They're like, what was I thinking? Everybody has that. There's no real reason to beat yourself up about it. Now, if you're still in a relationship with someone and you're asking yourself, why am I in this relationship? That is definitely something you need to find an answer to without judgment. Again, if there's something that's keeping you there and you don't know what it is, and you just are like, oh my gosh, they're treating me like this badly and I'm still here after so many years. Like, why? I'm such an idiot. Remove that last part. It's not helpful. It's not going to get you any illumination on the issue. Now, that being said, again, this full moon is going to bring to light lots of stuff. Things that you don't want to face, realities you don't want to accept. So if you're not sure why you're in this relationship or in this career path, or on this career path, I should say, you'll find out soon enough. It's best if you start the process now so it doesn't hit you in the face like a brick wall during the full moon. So this could be something you start, digging deeper into yourself, going in meditation, journaling, freehand writing, where you're just writing without thinking why. I don't know if it's called freehand, but I just kind of write without censoring what I'm writing, and then read it back and to kind of understand where I'm going. It's kind of like a subconscious. I even do it sometimes with my left hand, which is my non-dominant hand, so that I can just write and get it out. It's kind of free association, I think it's called. Free association writing. Free associative writing, or something like that. But it's just a method that you can use to try to dig deeper into your subconscious mind and to understand why you're doing what you're doing. Sometimes we're just on autopilot and we're not really paying attention. And we're miserable and we don't really know why, So it's good to ask those hard questions. And the universe right now, the planets are helping you to uncover these illusions that you might have been participating in. It doesn't mean it's always going to be comfortable or easy, but if you ask yourself, is it is it better to stay in a relationship or in a career that I'm totally miserable in than to discover those answers to those hard questions? Yeah. So hopefully you use this energy really wisely. I will be back again here next week. Take care and talk to you soon.